कमाई ये कर धंधो अपनो कर रहे जो धागा लिया उन्हें बाड़ी से सुबह में नैया के कछु गई 11 रुपया मिला सुखा हो तो खावे पीवे कोई बाल बच्चे पलत नैया में उतेक में
कभी 75 कमाते हैं, कभी उस दिन उससे भी कम हो जाता है, 50 रुपया होता है। तो उस दिन क्या होता है, कर्ज हो जाता है। जैसे मालिक का किराया गिर गया, जैसे अपने खाए तो मालिक को दिए, जैसे मालिक को नहीं दिए तो अपने खाए। 22 रुपया दे के जो बचता है उसमें अपने बच्चों का खर्चा रखते हैं, उसके बाद अपना खर्चा करते हैं।
मेरा नाम हकीम पेंटर है, मैं यहाँ पे काम करता हूँ। कोई काम मिल गया नहीं तो नहीं मिलता है, परेशान बहुत हूँ। बच्चे मेरे साथ हैं।
वो नहीं पढ़ता, काम करता है।
तू चला जा, मेरा माथा ना खराब करे।
मेरे पैसे तो
तू जा ऐसे, तेरे है 36 मिले यार।
तो कल से बुला लेना ना उनको। मेरे
पैसे और नहीं है, तू जा।
जो बनाए से हमारे
तू जा रहा है सब। मैं तुम्हें मारूंगा,
मार दो तुम।
भाग ऐसे।
नहीं जाऊंगा।
चल तंत्र रखा, कल से कमा लिया बिल्कुल यार।
सुबह 7 बजे से संध्या शाम के 7 बजे लोग के कहते हैं काम। वो जिसका काम नहीं करना है, जिसका करना है वो जो कर रही है, इसमें से कम हो जाएगा तो फिर संध्या के पैसे भी कम कर रहे हो। 30 रुपया 25 रुपया दिन मिलते हैं। और जिसके घर जाना है, जिसके पे जाना है तो पैसा देता ही, वो नहीं देते वो का पीछे फिरते रहते। वो नहीं मिला तो फिर नहीं देते। वो जा मजबूरी है कि लाए के बान को संग लेके काम कर रहा है, नैया है तो फिर कर खा लेते।
तो हम झंडे काम करते ही और कुछ मिलता नहीं, कोई पैसा भी नहीं देता, गुजारा भी नहीं होता। मुश्किल से 40-50 रुपए कमा ले, इसमें क्या गुजारा होता है? क्या समझे? इसमें कोई गुजारा नहीं होता, बहुत परेशानी है, पैसा कोई देता नहीं।
This is the story of Indian labor. These are the people who are working endlessly from morning till evening. Yet, materially, they don't have anything which they can call their own, except the labor that they put in. They are unable to solve their enormous problems. These unorganized laborers form 92% of the Indian workforce. The condition of these scattered unorganized laborers is pitiable. They do not get employment regularly, and wages paid to them are low and inadequate. If struck by any accident or taken to an illness, they find it even difficult to sustain themselves. When old, it is not possible for them to even earn their livelihood. They have no choice but to depend on landlords and money lenders who fully exploit them and leave them completely incapacitated. As they start laboring from a very early age, they neither get an opportunity to educate themselves, nor do they achieve any proficiency in any profession. The government of India, though, has formulated many laws and made plans to improve their condition. But they have not been able to avail benefits of these schemes because of the ignorance and the immense poverty they suffer from. Hence, to improve their lot, it becomes imperative that this vast unorganized and scattered segment of the labor force is organized. Their collective strength will enable them to assert their rights.
Organization is the key to development. Organization helps in bringing these unfortunate cross-sections of humanity closer to the mainstream of development. It helps in their participation in the process of development. It enables them to reap the fruits and benefits of development in a planned, coordinated and concerted manner. It heightens the capacity to bargain individually as well as collectively. And when all these objectives are achieved through organization in a peaceful and constitutional manner, organization is said to deepen the roots of democracy. Organization is not merely an assembly of men, women and children, but is a powerful conveyor or conduit for transmitting certain messages which are socially relevant in terms of empowerment of the individual. Organization helps in enabling individual members of a group to think, to reflect, to critically analyze and to internalize: who am I? Where from have I come? Why have I landed myself in this situation? What are my own strengths and weaknesses? What are the strengths and weaknesses of my adversaries? Am I aware of my strengths and weaknesses? If I am not aware, what could be the causes and factors for my deprivation, destitution and exploitation? Organization provides an important answer to all such dilemmas which afflict the life of an individual as also the lives of members of a group.
Organization refers to the group of people who are united to achieve a common objective. They define their priorities and take solid steps to achieve them. Through organization, the labor can ask for better conditions of work and even better wages. They can collectively try to find the main causes of their plight and can evolve ways and means to improve the condition and raise their voice against injustice. Workers' illiteracy, ignorance, helplessness, and awareness of their rights comes as obstacles for the organizers willing to organize their fellow unorganized workers. Organizers' ardent desire to help the laborers and their commitment to the cause of unorganized workers would easily enable them to organize them effectively. Before the organizers start their work, it is essential for them to identify the particular form of organization which is more appropriate for the particular group of workers in a specific situation.
When we are dealing with the unorganized labor, we will have to look the peculiarities of the labor force in this sector, and accordingly the organizational form also evolved to suit the requirement of the labor force. And we have trade union organizations, we have labor cooperatives emerged in some segment, we have self-help group concentrating on saving and credit and then getting into another forms of organizations. We have also NGOs operating in this segment to assist the workers to get themselves organized under cooperative or labor cooperatives or trade unions.
Unorganized sector worker is actually very weak. She or he has very little bargaining power, and so even if he or she forms the trade union, without the legal support, there are no laws which support them, they are unable to maintain any type of struggle. So as a organization, the trade union form is useful up to an extent, but beyond that cooperative is needed. In fact, the cooperative and trade union are two sides of the same coin. We need both the sides, that is the struggle side and the development side, in order for the unorganized sector worker to come up.
In the organized sector of employment, the trade unions are the effective form of organization. But in the unorganized sector, the trade unions are not necessarily always the effective organizational form suitable to them. For example, the self-employed workforce, for them to get the organization registered under the Trade Union Act itself is very difficult. For example, SEWA took long years to get their organization registered under Trade Union Act. And the self-employed category of workers, even getting recognition as a worker itself is a difficult thing. So therefore, self-employed category of workforce, the cooperative form of organization may be the right form, that is worker cooperatives. I am not talking about labor cooperatives, I would term it as a worker cooperative.
After identification of the particular form of organization, the organizer should chalk out the various steps involved in building the organization. Broadly, these can be outlined in two stages. First, the planning stage, and second, the development stage. First of all, the category of the workers who have to be organized should be identified. Afterwards, the aims of the organization are laid down. The aims can be divided into general and specific subheads. Now comes the turn of creating interest in the mind of the target group towards the organization. For this, the organizer may visit the laborers door to door to establish friendly relationships. An environment may be created in which they could discuss their problems, understand them, and try to find solutions. Through various methods, such as processions, group songs, television programs, and exhibition of films, etc., they can be inspired to take interest in getting organized. Among these activities, there is yet another very powerful medium, the street plays. The street plays should depict their own stories of how they are being exploited by landlords and misled by government officials, contractors, and dealers. They may be inspired to become organized to fight exploitation and injustice.
भूख लगी है 2 दिन से रोटी नहीं खाई अबे जुम्मा जुम्मा आए को 2 दिन 1 मिनट नहीं हुआ हैं भूख लग रही है तेरे को तेरा बाप कमा के रखा था यार काम कर चल ओए ओ भाई मालिक 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 अरे क्या हो गया भाई मालिक क्या हो गया मर गया मर गया लड़का मर गया मर गया मर गया मर गया मर गया मालिक मर गया अरे पानी ले पानी 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 मालिक अरे
Eventually, when the laborers become aware and inspired, the serious activities of the organization building may now begin. Workshop, labor camp type activities can be suitable for this. The organizer may be independently or with the help of the government, semi-government, non-government agencies can conduct the workshop or can organize the labor camp. The activity should be such that the participant should depend on each other and a feeling of participation should develop amongst them. Some interesting games can also be played. By playing these games, the participants should feel that their life is not so dull and dry, that they also have a right to enjoy. While entertaining during the play games, they may be brought closer to more serious aspects of life. The organizer should know once again that where employment at a time and at a particular place is available, the form of organizations like trade unions are appropriate because they can fight against exploitation and injustice more effectively. They can also increase the bargaining capacity of the laborer to negotiate for better terms of employment. But where employment is not available at a particular place, formation of cooperatives is more appropriate and useful.
The formation of the workers' cooperative is actually not very difficult, but we must realize that what type of cooperative do we want, because there are many different types of cooperatives. They can be a cooperative for savings and loan, which will meet the need for capital. They can be producers' cooperatives where the need for market or the need for raw materials is met, such as milk producer cooperative, leather producer cooperative, etc. They can be labor cooperative where laborers such as construction workers or cleaners, they get together and as a cooperative they may take up contracts. Then there can be farmers cooperatives or water cooperatives or tree growers cooperatives. Then there can be service cooperatives.
Workers engaged in the tasks of organizing the unorganized should be aware that obstacles like illiteracy, emotional weakness, the partial stand of the village administration in favor of the rich, anti-organization attitude of the landlords comes in the way in organizing the unorganized workers. But these hurdles can be overcome by mutual trust, patience, confidence, and the spirit of cooperation. Many organizations have succeeded in improving working and living conditions of their members through organization and collective strength.
इन्होंने अपना नारा उठाए और नारा उठाते के साथ मजदूरों का एकता का आवागमन किए। जब से हम मजदूर संगठित हुए, असंगठित क्षेत्र में काम कर रहे थे, जब से हम मजदूरों को अंदर ये चेतना बनी कि हम संगठित होकर के अपनी मजदूरी खुद तय करेंगे, लोग संगठित हुए और अपनी मजदूरी अपनी मेहनत के हिसाब लेने के लिए जागरूकता दिखाई।
But while building the organization among unorganized, the organizers, they have to remove illiteracy among workers, because with education alone they can understand the issues of the new world and increase their self-confidence. Later, they have to know about the various schemes and the programs that have been made for their welfare and the process of availing the benefits under these schemes. Also, they may be made aware of their legal rights and how they can protect themselves from the injustice that is inflicted upon them. Government and non-government organizations, existing trade unions, and various other labor institutions can also play an important role in the organizing of the unorganized.
The state can create a climate of opportunities and incentives, but it cannot assume on its shoulders the direct responsibility for organizing the unorganized. It can act as a promoter, as a facilitator, as a catalytic agent, It can help in identifying the creative forces, the constructive forces, thinkers, writers, artists. It can help to bring them together. It can provide an opportunity or incentive for them to come together, to think together, to plan together, and to act together.
Formation of organization among unorganized workers appears a difficult task. However, it is just a matter of taking the first step. Consequently, things fall in line. Keeping in view the various hurdles, an effective strategy to counter them, the organizers should get motivated by the successful experiences of other organizations.
SEWA, Self-Employed Women's Association, which is a trade union of unorganized sector women workers. SEWA as a trade union tries to fight for the rights of its members, but at the same time SEWA also promotes different cooperatives. To give one example, many of SEWA members are the vegetable sellers on the streets. Now their problem was with police and municipality, and as a trade union SEWA could take up that problem. But then their other problem was of capital. They wanted loans and they were getting from the money lender. So they said to us that although we are poor, we are so many. So if we all bring out 50 rupees as share, then we can have our own bank. So SEWA promoted the SEWA Cooperative Bank, and that was 20 years ago. Today the SEWA Cooperative Bank has more than 1 lakh members, all of whom are the women in the unorganized sector, and it has a capital of more than 30 crores only from the savings of these women. In this way many cooperatives can be promoted, and in fact SEWA, as I was saying, has promoted more than 75 cooperatives.
There are ample success stories of the workers' organization. The unorganized workers' labor can draw inspiration and strength from them. There is every possibility that they may feel scared of the hurdles in their way. Various complications may put them in doubt. But it may be remembered that every dark cloud has a silver lining. There exists no problems that has no solution. As you start walking, the way gets paved. This is the way to build the workers' organization, which is based on confidence, awareness, unity, and cooperation.